Hi, Taurus, Sun and Rising. Welcome to your July 2022 Astro Update. It's Raina here. July starts out with a bang for Taurus because Mars goes into your sign. And this gives you that oomph, that energy that maybe you haven't been feeling in recent weeks. Because you've had Mars in the 12th house, and I have Taurus rising, so I've had Mars in the 12th house. And this is a good time to mention that this is a general forecast because, for instance, I have Mars at 26 degrees of Taurus. So these transits, Taurus rising. So it's not until late in the sign that I actually will have Mars in my first house, whereas some of you will have it fairly soon. But it still is a valid thing to listen to these forecasts because it's going to happen sooner or later. So it's no harm, no foul. And, when Mars is in the 12th house, a person can feel like they have this energy that they can't really express or expend. Is that the proper word? And it's like this sense of maybe being a bit antsy. The 12th house is more of a contemplative area. It's a water house. It's Pisces domain. So it's a lot about solitude, meditation, but spiritual matters. So even something like Hatha Yoga can benefit somebody who has Mars transiting their 12th house, or walking meditation. I was just thinking about this the other day because a lot of times we're told we meditate, in the lotus position, sitting cross-legged and on the floor. And that certainly can be a plan, but it's not the only way to still the mind. Some people are especially fidget. Well, I was going to say fidgety, but I don't even mean it like that. I mean, they just have a lot of natural energy. Taurus is known as a languid sign, I would say overall, because your ruler is Venus, and Venus likes to do things in her own sweet time, or to have that luxury of not having to I was going to say get her hands dirty, but I mean like, something physical, being very, exerting oneself. Taurus can be, the bull is not necessarily that aggressive unless it is riled to be so. But the bull might be, I don't know if I'm wrong about this, a cow for sure. Maybe that's not correct. Maybe the bull is always aggressive. But it seems to me that Taurus is a sign that likes to take things easy. And when, a Taurus person can work, though, if they have to. They're not totally just lollygagging. So this can give you physical stamina, but just a lot of motivation to move your body in general when Mars is in the first house. And so that might be a new exercise routine that you fall into. It's not even that you're just doing it very methodically. You might just be drawn to it because you just feel very energized. On the same day, and also promoting yourself, being aggressively putting yourself out there. I think that's another thing that Taurus people don't tend to do. Not to say, oh, you're insecure or shy, but you may not feel compelled to do that. Venus, your ruler, is the attractor. So you may be more inclined to just wait for something to come to you. But sometimes even you realize that you have to go for it. And this can be a time. And it can pay large dividends in the long run because there might be something that you initiate that has to do with self-promotion that ends up in your favor. On the same day, Mercury goes into Cancer, and for you, this is the third house that Mercury rules in the universal chart. So this is the house of communication. It's the house of writing, and that's a form of communication, of course, teaching and learning. So all of these activities can be favored because you have the ruler of a house transiting its own house. So it's an enhanced type of influence. You might be talking to people in these institutions. Maybe you're talking to people online. If you have a blog, if you have some kind of a following on social media, the third house is social media. You may be, if it's relatively new and now you're starting to pick up more eyeballs, then you might be talking to your followers. And the other thing that the third house represents are brothers and sisters or extended family members like cousins, aunts, and uncles. So it's not that you're never talking to them, but you might be talking to them more at this particular time. Neighbors can be the third house. If you have some desire to move, you might be like researching neighborhoods where to live, to gather information. That's one of Mercury's main jobs. On the 13th, we have a full moon at 21 degrees of Capricorn. This is going to be in the 9th house. It's a trine angle because you are Earth and Capricorn is Earth, and so that's a friendly angle, and it's creates a greater likelihood of manifesting whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. In this case, it could be something connected to, long distance travel and other forms of expansion. So expansion of the mind, expansion of your territory. And, the 9th house is academia. Maybe you're graduating and that's what the full moon represents. Or you're retiring from the university if you've taught there. You might have some kind of an aha moment that is of a philosophical nature that really illuminates how you choose to live. I call Taurus a meat and potato sign because it tends to take life as it comes. Taurus is the first earth sign. Earth signs are very grounded, but sometimes that groundedness can mean that it's hard for earth signs to imagine the spiritual side of life because they're so tied into the physical, the tangible. So this might be something that kind of gives you that proof that you kind of sort of need in order to believe in something. On the 17th, Venus goes into Cancer, and this again is that third house. So maybe making money on a writing project, a blog, or, other social media. And if this is something, because you have Uranus transiting your sign, Taurus, and Uranus can be about technology and the internet. And so some Taurus people who probably thought they would never, have an online business or an online presence may do just that. And you might find that you are able to make money from it. Venus in the third house can be looking for love online, joining a dating service. It can be harmony with siblings, harmony with neighbors. On the 19th, Mercury goes into Leo, so that's the fourth house of home and family, and we're going to have these transits in that fourth house now. The 22nd, the sun goes there, and the 28th, a new moon here in that fourth house of home and family at 5 degrees of Leo, an early degree of Leo. And so just to let you know, I mean, if you have, maybe you've wanted to move and you weren't sure that it was possible for you for whatever reason, there might be something that I don't want to say drops in your lap, but it might be quite um, kind of like an easy thing where you don't have to really try so hard to make it happen because you've done your homework. I think of Mercury as you're doing your homework and researching this area of life, and then it's a lot easier to make a decision about what it is that you want to do. I feel like some people may even want to live in a different country with the full moon in Capricorn and having Pluto in Capricorn in that ninth house. Um, there can be great transformation from your long distance travels. And for Taurus, you're very tied to the familiar. But because you have Uranus transiting your sign, and some of you also, the sun in Taurus people, you may have inner planets in Gemini, for instance, or Aries, and be like more adventurous, more curious, and in love with change and variety. And that will make you atypical for a Taurus person and more prone to welcoming any kind of opportunity to travel or expand yourself in some way. And in some cases, if you don't want to move, but you want to change something, you might either, maybe you're going to build a separate structure on your property so that you can have more privacy or quiet for something that you want to do that, in the main house, it would be difficult to pull off because there's just too much going on there. And anything that we do, we don't have to just do the typical thing that an astrologer says. You can make it work for you in your own way. The point is that we acknowledge these things in life because sometimes people don't even put enough attention into something. I remember when I moved into there, like I really believe that I've pretty much done that a lot up until this point, and that I have changed in recent years. But that you just move and you don't think about, oh, what's it going to be like, and not seeing like if if it's a good area for quiet, for having a lot of ability to walk around and feel safe and all of those factors. Even if that, maybe some people do think about the safety issue, but then everything else, they don't think about the quiet and the noise level in the community. And so that's what going there on the weekend, going there in different, at different times can help with that. The fourth house can be the mother. Maybe you're having a new type of relationship with her. It's like a new day is dawning, and you are reacting to her in a different way, or speaking with her in a different way, and therefore you don't have that same dynamic that is keeping the two of you locked in certain negative patterns, perhaps. So that can be good because, the new moon is a new day, sun is a positive energy, and Mercury is very communicative. Okay, that's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I have double readings for a special price. An hour of natal chart interpretation, an hour of important transits of the next year, called my deep dive reading. I have a combination natal chart tarot reading called the whole enchilada, and I have single standalone readings too. You can find out more information at the link below. I'm at rainamoon.astrology.com. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.